Had to get some ASMR in. Don't know if y'all can hear that. Hi everybody. Had to come out of hiding, out of my little bubble for a minute to share something I found online. I found it hilarious, and I thought, okay, I'm going to share this because you might find it funny too. So first off, where I've been in TikTok universe. I had discovered it a while back, but I was on it off and on because I would find myself doing it all day, not getting anything done. And so then I would, go back to doing whatever I need to do around the house. Then I was getting back into Ancestry, working on building my tree, collecting cousins, and then I got back into TikTok. And I made a few videos here and there. I'm not that funny. I just kind of do day-to-day crap occasionally and sometimes share a thought. And anyway, so I saw a TikTok video and they had a coin. But the thing is, you can't always trust things you see, obviously, on the internet, nor in real life. You always got to fact check because, especially on TikTok, a lot of people have these trick coins. They'll be like, oh, found something with something inside, and it's a coin that's a trick coin that comes apart, and it's got something on the inside, and, I mean, there's just stuff like that out there. So I thought, there's no way. When I saw this coin, I was just like, no way, no way. This is too good. No way. So I look it up real quick. And sure enough, the government, the Mint, has dropped the 2020 coin. If I read correctly, that coin was legit. She really did have it. And so, before I get into what I saw, let's back it up. We know what's going on right now, and if you don't, you're probably like me and don't watch the news or read the newspaper. You try to stay out of business, other people's business, as much as possible because you have enough stress in your life that you're already like, and that you're just like, I don't need no more stress. So you just stay out of media for the most part. You only come into social media for laughs occasionally. So I don't watch TV, don't have cable, we watch movies. We rent Redbox, that's it. So if you're not like me, you're aware. I mean, even if you are me, you were just one of the later to know, which I'm up a lot of times and asking my family things, so I kind of find things out pretty soon still. But either way, regardless, here or there, right now there is a pandemic, or whatever they're calling it, going on, the COVID-19 / Wuhan virus. It's one of the coronaviruses, and it was discovered, it takes a while to discover what's going around and put a name on something. But when it was discovered in China, in Wuhan, and it was just a really bad upper respiratory infection that's really, harsh really fast. And the thing is they're thinking it comes from, if you don't know a whole lot about China, I follow a lot of animal cruelty, animal activist posts. I see a lot of China people, citizens, Chinese people, they cook bats alive, they cook dogs alive. They think that, from what I understand, boiling it alive makes it taste better. I don't understand it. It's cruel to hear something cry and you're not okay with doing something about it. I'm all for eating meat. It says in the Bible, he gave us animals to eat, so I'm for eating meat. But the more smart we get and we can put things down in a fast way, in a humane way, if you have that option, you take that option. And they have all the technology over there to put animals down fast. Boiling them alive hurts. It may be quick, but it hurts. Whereas freezing them, flash freezing them first, yes, sure, it may sometimes affect the texture of certain meats, but it's humane and it puts them to sleep. Or the quick chop. That's another route. Either way, boiling should never be an option. That's why we've gotten out of boiling crawfish ourselves. I understand it takes a while to get a whole culture to quit, so I do try to speak on that and try to get people interested in knowing that animals have nerves, and if they have nerves, they can feel pain. So crawfish, even that, you shouldn't do it. Like when we go fishing, we cut the heads off immediately. We don't leave them sitting there dying, gasping for air, because they can't just breathe air like we do. They have to breathe it through the molecules of the water. So in a sense, it's kind of like they're gasping for air, even though they're in there. Either way, so China's been known to eat frogs alive. I've seen video mukbangs or mukbangs, whatever you want to call them. I've seen them where they eat gooey duck or whatever that little wormy creature is, sea cucumbers, and baby mice alive. I've seen octopus eaten alive. I've seen squid eaten alive. Just several animals eaten alive. And then I've seen bats, once they're dead, when they have no hair and their mouth is stretched, it's because they were boiled alive or fried alive. Same with dogs and pigs. Occasionally you'll see animals. You can tell a difference between an animal who's been fried dead and an animal who's been fried alive. If you don't believe me, Google it, you'll find it. Anyway, so I think in a sense this virus is kind of karma. It's like their karma. But at the same time, there's a part of me that goes, I wonder if this is what I had back in November. Because I saw a lot of people talking about how they were sick back in November, and they wonder if that's what this is. And I'll get to that in a minute. But for now, so this virus, originally, they're thinking that it was caused by how their people eat the bats and the wildlife and the whatever bacteria these animals are carrying. So, that being said, keeping that in mind, I go and see this post. You know, you always hear China, bats, Wuhan, coronavirus, blah, 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 blah. And then today I go on TikTok and I see a coin and I think it's fake, but it's not. And there it is, this year's coin, 2020, US 25 cents. And on the back is a freaking bat. Government's got jokes. And I mean, I lost it. Was laughing my butt off. I want one now. I want one of these quarters. But, so there's that. Yeah, I lost it. So, this virus, I noticed a lot of people were talking about how this virus hits hard. It's, you know, one of the coronaviruses cause upper respiratory infection. If you know anything about those, if you've ever had bronchitis, you know what it does to you. Now, people like me who are asthmatic, I'm not full-blown asthmatic. I'm what you call semi-asthmatic. My asthma doesn't really affect me till I start walking, or if I try to run. Mine doesn't affect me on a normal walking basis, but like if I'm like going for a walk out to get exercise, it does. I think that's why my whole life I've avoided exercise. As a kid, my ribs hurt. Gym teacher would try to make me do stuff, and I pretty much was failing always. Always failing PE class. I mean, I made good grades and everything else, but when it came to that track, you weren't going to get me to walk. And I couldn't really put a finger on it, and I kept saying it's my ribs. The older I got, and I've always been interested in the body and health, and I realized I think I'm asthmatic. So, I slowly gained weight from that, and the fact that I drink a lot of sweet tea, my lack of exercise. It was never a diet thing, other than the drinking is part of dieting. But anyway, I've just always started being thick as of my late teens, early 20s, and just stayed thick because I don't exercise, never will. Hey, stop. And I can bike ride. It doesn't take as much, but the bigger I've gotten, I have fell a few times. Now I'm injured, and I have the early stage, or I had early stages back in my 20s, but now I have mid stages of, I guess, arthritis or chronic pain, something that hurts all the time, makes you wish you were dead sometimes. But and then all that creates depression. But I'm not one who wants to be on medication, so I have to tell myself this is just what's going to be your life. You're just going to be depressed. You're just going to have to get through it, and you just try to stay positive, because that's the only thing that gets you through the day of trying to do something here or there. I don't clean my house normal like a normal person. I don't stay on top of it. I do it kind of as I go here and there. I might do one thing and a couple hours later do another thing, whereas most normal people might do it all in 2 hours, whereas I might take a full 8 hours to do stuff. That's part of depression. Can't fix me. I've tried for 10 years now. Thankfully I have a husband who understands. Anyways, so back in November, my husband, Sam Squatch, day before Thanksgiving, got really sick. And he was like, man, I really don't feel good. My throat feels scratchy. I'm getting hot and I'm getting achy. Next morning, bam, hit him all at one time. He was sick. So he didn't go to Thanksgiving. I went to Thanksgiving, brought him food home. I was around everybody Thanksgiving Day. I'm sure I coughed here and there. I'm sure I touched things. So we already know that he had it the night before, and I went to see the family the next day. So if I come in contact with him, with touching him, kissing him, I wash my hands, but still, you never know. So the next day I see the family. Family didn't get sick, but then I go home, and he's sleeping, wakes up, turns over. Next thing I know, he coughs, and I feel spit go in my face. And I was like, yep, I'm going to be sick. Next morning, I wake up sick as a dog. I mean, like that. So I was like, well, whatever you got, I got it now. I felt like I was getting bronchitis. I was like, yep. And I felt achy. The first symptoms were chest is getting heavy. I need a constant feeling of clearing my throat. And then I was hot and sticky, so I knew I was coming down with a fever. My fever wasn't high yet. My body temperature is normally around 97 point something, so the slightest bit up, because I'm hot-natured, slightest bit I feel hot. I kept checking it, and I was under 90. I was like under 99. I was like 98, 99. But I knew it was coming. But more than anything, it was 3 solid days of sheer pain in the legs and up into the arms. Like I had mono meet sciatic nerve pain, just constant throbbing all over. I don't know if you ever had mononucleosis, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, kind of think of it as the flu. I haven't had flu, but I hear it's kind of like that. The mono is like a train wreck, and you just want to die. But anyway, it's like that the first few days. Then, once you get past that 3rd day of pain, it starts easing. Now you can finally sleep. But now you're miserable, and you have no energy, and you can't breathe, and now you're full-blown dry coughing. It's dry as hell. So you're doing anything. But the thing is, I do take ibuprofen, and from what I understand, that makes it worse. And that would explain why it kept getting so much worse. And, because I would alternate. Like, I take ibuprofen, I take aspirin. And, then it turned into, like, pneumonia. And I went in, and they were like, well, we don't really have a way to test for that. Just, they ask you, what does it look like when you cough up stuff? And I was trying to explain to them, I think I have pneumonia. So, they just treated me for bronchitis, and all you can really do is steroids. And I have an inhaler, and I did get it in asthma machine, albuterol, asthma cord, whatever you want to call it. I've never had one before. I've always done the inhalers. I've always done albuterol inhalers because I never had full blown asthma. I just keep them on hand for maybe once a year. When I get bronchitis, it gets bad, then I need it. After that, don't need it. So one inhaler, even though it's expired, if I still have puffs in there, I keep it. So after the first month, and I'm done with my steroid pack, and it's still not reversing yet. Usually you can kind of tell when you're getting better. And I was just like, I'm not getting better. I start to feel like I'm getting better, and then I start getting worse. And the thing is, I kept that fever for like over a week almost. And it stayed right at 101, 102. And then finally, the second month, went back, asked the doctor, try one more round of meds. Because there was at one point in time that it started getting better, but then it got worse again. And there was a point in time where I felt like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I really don't know if I'm going to pull through. And I told my husband that, and I was like, something just feels different. I kept saying, something feels different this time. I don't know what it is, but this is not normal bronchitis. I don't ever ache when I have bronchitis. And anyways, and plus I never have fever when I have bronchitis. And both of us had fever, and both of us had the same symptoms. He got over his the first month. Into the second month, I had to do a second round of medicine. I called Teladoc this time versus going into the doctor. First time went into the doctor, second time stayed home, did Teladoc. Thank God for Teladoc. When you don't want to get out of your bed, you can call them from your bed over your phone, have a video call, and boom, and it's cheaper than having insurance. But anyway, I think they should consider Teladoc as insurance because you're paying cash out of pocket and you're seeing a doctor and you're being treated. So problem solved. Anyways, so do a second round of medicine. Occasionally, get to 100, 102 again. And finally, like one of the days I was up to 102, like the third day, I remember just going, just take a cold shower. Just take a cold shower. So I got to take my hot shower because I ached so bad when I would get a high fever. And the only thing that relieves that kind of pain is heat. When you have arthritis, when your bones and the pressure in the air and everything's messing with you. Now I was hurting from pressure or whatever that day was. It wasn't from the whatever. Anyway, heat, cold water would have made it hurt worse. So heat is a natural pain reliever. So I get in the shower, I have to do my heat first. I just want to have a second of not hurting while I'm sick. So I'm leaned up against the wall, and I'm just kind of leaning there and letting the shower just kind of beat on me. And then I'm like, all right, I got to do it. And I turned off the heat. I love cold showers when I feel good and it's a hot day. Love them. But when I'm sick, I'm pitiful. I want a good hot shower. So I was just like, all right, we got to do it. And I took an icy cold shower. My bones were aching, but I'm sitting here taking it, knowing the outcome hopefully will be worth it. So I do the cold shower, turn it off, and was like, here goes nothing. I feel like death. And I go lay down, and I dry off a little bit, and I just kind of lay there in front of the fan. So the fan's also trying to air dry me, and it also helps cool me off. I lay on the towels on the bed, spread eagle, and I'm just like laying in the air, cooling down. And within an hour, fever broke. I was like, why didn't I do that sooner? Normally I do try to break a fever, but this was just so pitiful. It's this, I call it stupid sick. When you're so sick that even though my fever was not as high as it normally would make you stupid, it wasn't because of the fever. But I was in that mind that I just don't feel good, don't want to do anything. It makes you think stupid and irrational, and it's because you're being pitiful and you're being a baby and you want someone to take care of you. That's stupid sick. Now, true stupid sick is like you're running 103, 104 fever it's making you stupid because it's frying your brain. But stupid sick is when you're a baby, when you're sick and you don't want to move, and you know that if you move it'll make it better, but you're being stupid and stubborn, so you don't want to move. It sucks when you're both sick and you are sick and you want them to take care of you, but they're sick and they want you to take care of you. And so you're just like both going, well, who's going to walk the dogs? You know, it was on me always, but because men are just, in the end, worse, apparently, when you're sick. So I think that that's what I had back in November, and then they discovered it, I think, in December, or finally figured out what it was in December, but by the time they figured it out, it was over in China. So anyway, that was just so crazy, and it took till beginning of February to get over it. 2 whole months, almost, and I'm just like, if that was the Wuhan virus, thankfully I made it through it. But if it wasn't the Wuhan virus, and the Wuhan virus is worse than what I had in November, then what the hell did I have in November? What the hell was that? And I don't want the Wuhan virus if it was worse than that, because I almost didn't even make it out of that. So, yeah. But as far as that quarter, wow, government has jokes. Side note, there's another thing going around right now. Don't know if y'all have watched it. If you haven't watched it yet, please take a second to go watch The Tiger King. His name is Joe something. Just throw them all away. That was a whole mess. I mean, a whole mess. Just a train wreck. You can't stop watching. And it's funny. But, yeah. So go check out that recommendation. I don't really have much else to say because not a whole lot goes on since I stay home and avoid people at all costs. Not just because of this, but because on a daily basis, like I said, I fight depression, and it's just, I don't even talk to my mama. I don't even call her, and I love her to death. And I try to text her when I can, when I get a moment to think about it, or if she texts me, I message her back. But for the most part, I don't even text nobody. I don't text my brother, and I love my brother to death. I wish we did talk more, but at the same time, he's not a people person either. And I'm more of a people person than he is. And you're lucky to even get a reply back from him. So the older I get, no matter how much I love somebody, I'm just not talking to them. I'm not messaging nobody. Or if you've pissed me off, I just leave you alone for a while because I want to know that you care. But if I feel like you're not letting me know, then I'm not going to talk to you because I don't want to seem needy. So whatever. And my husband's the only one I see all day long. Sometimes that makes it depressing because it's like, well, you spend your whole life chasing all these people and you want to stay up in their face. You want to know how your family's doing. Even my own family. I just get tired of chasing family and friends and, you know, just trying to stay in touch with them because they don't care to stay in touch with you. I don't want to always have to be the initiator. So I just gave up a long time ago. But now it has nothing to do with that. Now it's like, even if they initiated a conversation, it just takes a while for me to get back into the whole social thing because I've gotten so used to no one bothering me. So anyway, and then you got those few friends who just like, they call you and they bitch at you and then they hang up and then they block you and then you're like, why did you even message me? But yeah. So how many of y'all have gone back to cooking now that you're home? I've went back to cooking. I'm not on a diet right now. I was dieting, but damn it, if I'm gonna be at home not going anywhere, then I guess I'll just eat what I want. I'll be fat and sassy, like that lady said. Just sit around eating soup, getting all fat and sassy. I aspire to be like that when I get older. So, just one. Pause the camera to eat a piece of ice. Anyways, trying to think on anything else I can think of to mention. We covered the Tiger King documentary. We covered the Wuhan virus. That's all I can think about right now. So I guess if I can think about whatever the third thing I was going to talk about, then I'll come back and I'll speak at you then. Yeah, I got nothing. I can't think of it. My brain is fried right now. So I'm going to go eat my ice. Y'all have a great one. And I'll try to make another video sometime soon. Maybe get him to do a review. I don't know. But you know what? In the meantime, come find me on TikTok. Sam Squatch does not have an account. It's like pulling teeth to get him to do anything on here anyway, because he's against social media for the most part. Only people I really associate on social media really is Rob Tacklebox. Go follow him. He does some voices and some bits, and he tries out some beers occasionally. And then I follow one of my husband's co-workers, but none of the people that follow me is going to know him or her. And plus, a lot of that's her little kid playing around, and that little girl needs to be grounded. I don't really want to shout that out because some things you just don't need to follow. It's not that they're doing anything bad, it's just I don't want to promote adults going to follow a child. Even though what she does is innocent, it's just, I don't know, it makes you feel weird. So, let's see. I wish I had more people to shout out. I have friends that go onto YouTube, but they don't make YouTube videos. There is a friend that I used to speak to. She does make some videos, I noticed, but we're not on talking terms. I would shout her out, though. Whatever. Anyway, when I can think of whatever else it was I was going to say, like I said, I have ADD. And whenever I can remember to remember whatever it was I wanted to remember, I'll come back. So I'll holler at you later. Bye.